congratulations for your upcoming Academy Award nominations, most likely to happen.
These are yours.
I wanted to start by saying that when I left the theater, I was thinking this is probably what my father felt when he saw The Godfather for the first time in cinemas. I really had such an experience. So I wanted to ask you, this is a really silly question, but what was the last film that did that for you?
Oh,
I think Lilia Forever. I don't know if that was the most recent, but that was one experience. The Lucas Moodysson film that was pretty shocking and overwhelming and actually kind of life-changing in a funny way. It made me want to go into cinema and explore film, for sure. But most recently...
yeah, I don't know for me. I mean, I haven't watched films for a number of years up until now. I'm now catching up with current films. You know, I've seen things like, I saw The Substance the other day. That was quite an experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a cinematic experience.
That is a cinematic experience, totally, yeah.
That is definitely. I believe that one of the many messages of the film is that our work is always going to somehow carry some of our history as human beings and in little details or perhaps in a larger scope. So I wanted to ask you, as actors, do you remember a time when you spotted some detail in a character that you were playing that somehow was bringing out something about yourself that you didn't realize that before?
Oh, well, yeah, it's hard to say. Certainly about myself, I'm not really sure. I mean,
it's a funny one because you're trying to
get away from
yourself. Yeah, so you're always trying to find what are the a character's. It's a bit like being a detective, that you're kind of working out why are they doing that. You become so obsessed with who they are, and anything you bring is unconscious in a funny way. And it's you sort of want to deny the self a little bit to let this other thing come out.
I feel like if I see anything of myself in a role, then I've failed.
Yeah, and you go, I know, I hate that.
There's me
and
being
you
anxious.
Go, I know, that's my laugh or something. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
I'm also a really technical nerd and a film nerd, and I really, without giving anything away, that Warner at the end of the film with you guys in it. I was wondering if you could walk me through of how is that like on set and how it was like that filming that Warner.
Well,
it's pretty nerve-wracking.
Pretty harder, much harder for you than for me.
Well, I remember with that scene, I got completely obsessed with, it's funny how when you have a big moment, you get a bit distracted by something maybe a little bit more irrelevant. But I was obsessed. I was saying to Brady, it's written in the script that she has a walker, or what in England we would call a Zimmer frame. And I was like, Zimmer frame, but maybe it'd be better if it was a stick. So I was thinking, should it be a walking stick that she comes in, and I was going over and over in my mind. And then the only thing we really rehearsed was I rehearsed that entrance so I could try it with the stick or I could try it with the walker. And actually, in the end, I thought, do you know what? Always stick. If it's good writing, stick with the writing. And so I thought it's the walker and the sound of that. That walker as she goes in is sort of, she's announcing herself before she even enters.
And it's pretty brutal when that gets kicked away from you.
Yeah, exactly. And a stick wouldn't have had the same.
No.
It wouldn't have had the same impact. But I think that was partly my nerves of going, oh gosh, this is such a big thing to pull off. And to do it, as you say, in a single take. But actually what is so helpful I found is having done theatre, because it was a bit like doing a play really in that moment, because in a play you can't break the moment, you've got to keep going no matter what happens, and you kind of have to get yourself into that state with a scene like that where you just go, I know it inside out, whatever happens, and we just got to do it.
I love it. That was one of my favorite scenes. And I wanted to ask you my final question about Daniel Blumberg's score. I believe that it's one of the best scores of the year and definitely one of my favorite scores. So I wanted to ask you, how is it like to watch yourself with the score, finally on the piece, the final piece? How is that for you as actors to watch?
It's
beautiful.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think it's one of the best scores I've ever heard. I play it constantly now on my computer. I'm really impressed by his score. I love film music, and I'm really quite a nerd about film music. And I'm so impressed by his score. And also because he's just such an unassuming, kind of quiet, DJ kind of guy, it seems like. Looks like he should be playing synthesizers. and he's created this just epic, gorgeous score. Because it also adds to what you are doing as actors on the screen. It's a bit like putting a costume on. It just adds to what it is you're doing. And all of a sudden, this beautiful music kind of lifts your character in a certain way, and you go, wow, okay, wow.
And Daniel was on set a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Which doesn't usually happen. You don't often see the composer and they come in at the end. But in some ways, I guess he was absorbing what was happening and intuiting and reading and listening, and so that music feels so that it's coming from within the film. It's not just been overlaid to make scenes work.
And he was playing things, he was working on things sort of during the day and playing things to Brady, little bits and pieces. So I think they were kind of working together, quietly as the film was being made. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that score is sensational.
That's lovely. Well, they're giving me the raps. Thank you very much for your time, and congratulations for your upcoming Academy Award nominations, most likely to happen